We're looking at preparing our balance sheet for the preparing the balance sheet for the business. And again, just like yesterday, we are going to be looking at the adjusted trial balance, but this time we're looking at the balance sheet side. So you're going to be looking at your current assets and totaling up and taking away like less your accounts receivable or less your allowances, and that'll give you your total assets. And again, you're going to do your current assets first, and we're going to be doing running totals as we find things that need to be deducted. So things are in the opposite columns when you're looking at your adjusted trial balance. You need to subtract those and combine to retrieve your total for that section. The book value of your accounts receivable is one of the sections where that's going to happen. And then you total up your current assets. Then you're going to look into your plant assets. That's going to be your office equipment, and you're going to deduct any depreciation. And the same thing with your store equipment, less any depreciation. And then you're going to total those two up, and that's your plant assets. And then your total assets comes from totaling up the amount we found from your current assets and your plant assets, and that gives you your total assets. Liabilities are things that you are due. Those are your current liabilities, and long-term liabilities are things that are due in longer frame. So your liabilities section is going to take all your current liabilities, which are your payable accounts, and total those up, and that's your total liabilities. Where long-term liabilities would be things that you would have notes on, things that are longer term, like your property that you're buying. That's a long-term versus short-term. Stockholders' equity is looking at how much capital stock, your retained earnings, and totaling that up is that's total stockholders' equity. You'll add up your liabilities and stockholders' equity, and that should equal your total assets. And those should equal, if you want to look at this, and this is on slide 8 of the one I shared with you. And so you can see the whole thing put together. And we're doing this report paired to details with the items the principal financial statement is supporting schedule. They're sometimes referred to as exhibits. And so where you find your information for your balance sheet is from your adjusted trial balance and your statement of stockholders' equity. The contrary accounts are deducted from the asset account balance to determine the book value. And you should be double ruling all your total liabilities and stockholders' equity and total assets. And your total assets and the total liabilities and stockholders' equity should be equal. And so let's go ahead and look at the assets section. And this is all going to come from these 3 pieces of information. And I'm going to go ahead and make it over here so we can have, and the text selection is just giving you the things to write in that first column. So it's either adjusted trial balance or statement of stockholders' equity that's coming from. And so this first section, again, we're going to do the Superior Corporation and balance sheet. And it's December 31st, 20 ... And so the first section is your assets section. And we're going to start with your current assets. And so your cash is that $43,355 and 47 cents. Your petty cash is at $200. Your accounts receivable is the $16,305.45, and you're going to subtract from it, so less your uncollectible accounts, which is 84.22. And when we subtract those two numbers, we get 13,821 and 23 cents. And then your merchandise inventory is 81,017.26. Your supplies office is $777.65. Your supplies store is $516 and 36 cents. Your prepaid insurance is $2,800, and your notes receivable is $4,960, and your interest receivable is that $95. And that's going to give us down to our total current assets, which when we total all that up, we get $147,542 and 97 cents. And the next section is going to be your plant assets. And so your office equipment was at 19,000. We're starting to get down here a little bit lower. 19,916 and 14 cents. And we're going to less, your accumulated depreciation of your office equipment is 12,436 and 20 cents. So that's where we're writing off how much of the value is lost each year. And so we have 479 and 94 cents. And then you're going to do your store equipment, the same idea. We're going to take that 47,318 and 49 cents, and we're going to subtract again, so less, the accumulated depreciation in the store equipment, which is 16,626. And that's going to give you a total when we subtract those of 30,692 and 49 cents. And then we're going to look at the total plant assets. And that is when we take and total up these two numbers, and that gives us 38,172 and 43 cents. And now we're going to total our total current assets and our total plant assets, and that gives us 185,715 and 40 cents. And that is our total assets. So that's the left-hand side of that original equation where assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity, which in this case is going to be the stockholders' equity or our capital account. And so we are going to be looking next at doing our current liabilities and stockholders' equity. I guess it needs to move on. Oh, I wrote down the wrong number on that one. That was not 39. What did I write? $38, not 39. I'm sorry on that. Total plant assets. I must have looked at my number wrong. Sorry. And so now we're going to be looking at the liabilities. The liabilities is the first section that we're going to hit. Oh, my pen went away. And so our liabilities are our payable section. And we have and we're, like I said, for most of the part where right now we've been is current liabilities. We have not really gone into long-term liabilities yet, which is your longer-term notes, which means more than a short term. And so our first thing that we have is our accounts payable, which is 13,191.28. Our sales tax payable is 2,859 and 71 cents. Our employee income tax payable is $760. Our Social Security tax payable is $1,618.45. Our Medicare tax payable is $378.51. Our health insurance premiums payable is $368. Our retirement account, our benefits payable is $372. Our unemployment tax payable federal is $237.62. Our unemployment state is $117.94. Our federal income tax payable is $3,879 and 69 cents. Our dividends payable is $3,000. And then that's going to get us down to our total liabilities. Which when we total all those up is $26,783 and 20 cents. And now we're going to go into stockholders' equity. And our capital stock is this 82,500. Our retained earnings is not this 15,000. It's on the statement of stockholders' equity. It's what we found earlier, which is the 76,432 that we found from the previous lesson. Which gets us to our total stockholders' equity. It's going to match up and to what we had on that statement of stockholders' equity. Which is 158, 932 and 20 cents. And when we add up our total liabilities, and stockholders' equity, we find that to be $185,715 and 40 cents. And that matches our total assets. That means we did it correct. And we'll go ahead and grade that step. And that is how you create your balance sheet. And this is showing you on Superior.